Hello, I'm Georgia Calvin-Smith and welcome to Across Africa, France 24's weekly roundup from across the continent. This week, we head out into the bush of Nigeria's northeast to meet the men of the land helping soldiers track down Boko Haram. Our correspondents speak to the traditional hunters turning their skills to the battle against extremism. Also, in the name of their father, the children of late Angolan rebel chief Jonas Savimbi take the makers of a popular video game to court, accusing them of portraying him as a brute and a monster. And on your bike, we meet the people behind Cairo's first custom bike shop. They're hoping to get more people to discover the Wheel City by avoiding congestion and joining a cycling revolution. But first, despite the ongoing threat of Boko Haram attacks in Nigeria's northeast, some of those displaced by years of violence have started going back to their homes. Now, this cautious return has been made possible by a massive military offensive against the insurgents over the past year. Well, some of the operation's successes are down to the involvement of traditional hunters helping government troops. France 24 headed to Adamawa State to find out more.
Traditional hunters are at the forefront in the fight against Boko Haram. For decades, these men have lived on the fringes of society. But in recent years, they have gained widespread recognition by helping the military hunt down Boko Haram. Thousands of hunters across Adamawa, Borno and Yobe State take pride in rooting out insurgents.
We intercepted this yesterday from some people who are not from our community and who are of questionable character. They're not the type that the government welcomes. We encountered them while on patrol and collected this from them.
Hunters were informally recruited en masse in August 2014 and have been helping to win back territory ever since. At one point, Boko Haram controlled around 90% of the region and declared it an Islamic caliphate. They laid claim to public buildings, burning down schools and churches as they advanced. Local people had four choices: convert to Islam, flee, die, or fight back. And that is exactly what traditional hunters did and do to this day. They patrol a vast region using their expert knowledge of the terrain. By collaborating with hunters, the military has succeeded in pushing back Boko Haram out of almost all towns and villages. The insurgents are now confined to a few pockets, including the Sambisa forest, a place hunters know inside out.
We know there are places where Boko Haram sits. So sometimes we can go with soldier and go and meet them near the Sambisa.
The hunters say that Boko Haram fighters continue to hide in these mountains that straddle Nigeria and Cameroon, lurking in caves by day and raiding villages by night.
Well, in the second half of this week's Inside Nigeria series, our correspondents headed to Sukur. The ancient kingdom is one of the country's 2 World Heritage Sites and was partially damaged by Boko Haram attacks. Locals are doing what they can to restore buildings, but it is hard going.
The scars of Boko Haram's scorched earth tactics are visible in most towns and villages here, even high up in the mountain kingdom of Sukur. But the people of Sukur have a long history of defending themselves against attacks from below. The stone houses and elevated position have helped protect people here for the past 6 centuries. Slave raiding was rife from the 16 until the 1900s. The Hidi of Sukur recalls the day that Boko Haram tried and failed to raid his kingdom.
On the 12th of December last year, Boko Haram came here and burnt and destroyed all the rooms. The Sukur people later returned and assisted in rebuilding. If a person from Sukur is asked to come and assist, he will not refuse. He will not leave his brother to suffer.
Boko Haram apparently suffered heavy casualties and retreated back down the mountain, but not before setting light to several buildings, including the King's Palace, the primary school and a health centre. Rather than wait for the authorities to repair the damage done a little over a year ago, the people of Sukur came together to rebuild their King's Palace.
All the people of the community have been notified to come out as in mass. That is what they normally do. That is to repair the King's Palace. So the gate have been fixed, and they finish restore the King's Palace.
The alarm was never raised by UNESCO or the Nigerian authorities about what happened here. While a fragile peace exists, Sukur remains a World Heritage Site in danger of further attacks.
Virtual reality has caused some very real insult to an Angolan family. The children of former rebel chief Jonas Savimbi took the makers of popular video game Call of Duty to court, accusing them of misrepresenting their father.
On the left, the late Angolan rebel chief Jonas Savimbi. On the right, his image in the video game Call of Duty. It's infuriated 3 of his children who live in France. They are suing the publisher Activision for slander. They say that in the game, Savimbi is represented as a wild brute.
Our father cannot be simply described as barbaric. We find that shocking. We have children. We don't want to be associated to that image. We can't accept that. We have the same name as him. We're shocked.
Jonas Savimbi was an Angolan rebel who was murdered in 2002. His death brought an end to one of Africa's bloodiest civil wars. His children's lawyer said Savimbi was also a political leader. She wants the game to be banned in France and is asking for a substantial compensation.
We are asking for €1 million. It may seem like a lot of money, but when you compare that to how much money the company has made selling the game, it's nothing.
The lawyers of the publishers say the game is a work of fiction. They did not wish to answer our questions, but this is what they said in court.
At no point do the children of Jonas Savimbi appear in the game. Only their father does, so we do not see how the children's honour has been tarnished.
The court in Nanterre, just outside Paris, said it would rule on the case at the end of next month.
2 Cairo cyclists are encouraging people to ride their bikes around the city's congested streets. Now, this is Cairo's first custom bike shop and is also a place where people can go to learn to maintain their cycles and get support in overcoming any fears they have about choosing 2 wheels over 4. Dipti Laurent has more.
On your bike. That's a message from this pair of Cairo cyclists. Here at their workshop, they repair and sell bikes, but also teach people how to navigate through the city's chaotic streets. They're hoping to change the perception of getting about in 2 wheels in a city where there are few bike lanes and little traffic discipline.
We started feeling like the community needed help accessing more information about cycling. Maybe they can't find anyone to teach them because it's considered to be a profession or a skill. So we created this space today so that if people want to come and learn, we'll teach them. It's not a secret.
Karim headed to Canada for a 6-month course in bicycle making and co-founded the workshop with Dirk, a Dutchman he met while fixing his brother's bike. So far, the response has been positive.
We're marginalizing bikes more and more in the streets by not creating a space for them. But it's something we can produce much more easily than everything else. And bikes don't pollute, don't need fuel. It's healthy. It has so many advantages.
The Egyptian government had promised to make Cairo bike-friendly, but so far little has been done. This duo will soon start screening documentaries about the benefits of their passion. They're hoping to bring change directly to the people and usher in a new revolution, a cycling revolution.
Every zebra has a unique pattern to its stripy hide. So, scientists conducting a census of a population in Kenya are taking advantage of nature's barcode. The numbers of Grevy's zebra have drastically dropped over the last 4 decades, and conservationists are keeping close tabs on the 3,000 or so left.
Known for their large round ears and narrow stripes, the Grevy zebra in East Africa is the largest of the 3 zebra species and also the most threatened. Numbering around 15,000 in the late 1970s, they're believed to be fewer than 3,000 today, which is why zoology professor Daniel Rubenstein has launched a census in northern Kenya.
One of our goals is to try to understand how many Grevy's zebra there are on the planet. 99% live in Kenya, so we're really trying to census the Kenya population. And rather than just do a one-day count, we've tried to organize ourselves around the idea that we would capture animals on day 1 and compare them with animals on day 2 using individual stripe recognition.
Scientists, local communities, even tourists, everyone is being called on to help count the zebras. The concept is simple. Take a photo with a GPS-enabled camera, send the image to a server, and in minutes the program analyzes the stripes of the animal, using them as a natural barcode.
This is a match because there's a lot of hotspot information here that's matched to here. And then on the rump, there's also a lot of hotspot information where all these curlicues take place, and it matches here. And you get a relatively high raw score. Now, we feel confident because of that score and by visual inspection of the pictures that these are the same individuals.
Among those conducting the census are American students. For some, it's their first encounter with wild animals.
I've never seen a zebra in the wild, so even just seeing one that's highly endangered is mind-blowing.
This will give us a good idea of how many are still alive if they're still reproducing. We did have the fortune of finding a young one yesterday, so that was very good.
Long hunted for its meat and skin, it's hoped the programme will change people's attitude towards the Grevy zebra. And if it works here, the barcode census could be used for all animals with a patterned coat, a valuable asset in the fight to protect endangered animals.
Well, that's it for Across Africa this week. Thanks very much for joining us, and please do so again if you can. Take care.